All right, boys and girls, lecture 21. We're going to talk about how to use the trig ratios to find missing angle measures and really how to use the Pythagorean theorem. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this example here. I want you to go ahead and copy it down. Press pause because I'm going to go to the next slide right after I tell you that. So here's what we got with the Pythagorean theorem. We got to use the Pythagorean theorem to find missing side lengths. Now here's the thing. It's basically an equation. All right. I got three variables, A, B, and C. C being the hypotenuse. The rule is that if you have a missing side, you have to know the other two side lengths, okay, or it's not going to work, okay? So, keep that in mind. I have to know two of the three side lengths here that I have. Now, if I go to my example, I have two side lengths. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to label the triangle here with my sides. Okay, obviously here's C, the hypotenuse. Okay, remember angle C, side opposite. Okay, that means that 28 would be side B. And I really don't know side A. Let me fix the A real quick. So, with that said, I can use Pythagorean theorem. I know two side lengths. I can use Pythagorean theorem to find that third missing side. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't know A. I know B, which I forgot it already, 28. And C was 35. All right. So what I'm going to do is just plug and chug. Okay, I don't know A, so I have A squared. Plus B squared, which is 28 squared, equals 35 squared. Now, kind of use a little bit of PEMDAS, guys. 28 squared, just punch it in on the calculator. We get 784. Okay, now let's take care of 35 squared, which is 1225. Now I can box it line it, do the opposite. So let's go ahead and do that. Minus 784, minus 784 here. If you get decimals, just deal with it. All right, you may get a decimal answer here in a little bit. So 1225 minus 784 be 441. Oh, I know I'm going to get a decimal here. So right now I have A squared equals 441. Now we got to remember, what is the opposite of squaring something? Square root. Be fair, square root both sides. Now what happens is, if I square root a square, I'm just going to end up with A. Then we're at equals. Now I can square root 441. On the calculator, it's a second x2. Then 441. You can close parentheses if you want. Oh, wait, it is a perfect square. Great. So I get 21. So I thought I would get a decimal. So A, that missing side length, is 21. I'm going to go back to my example, and I'm going to label that. So A here is 21. I found all the missing side lengths, which is only one of them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out my angle measures B and A. Now, I got 4 steps here into figuring this out. 3 steps, sorry. Pick an angle you want to find. And then choose the correct trig ratio to find your angle. Okay, let's stop there and let's pick an angle that we want to find. Okay, I'm going to pick angle A. I already know what angle C is. It's 90 degrees. Let's find angle A. Now, if I want to find angle A, okay, I got to pick a trig ratio that I can use to find it. I'm going to erase this angle down here. So let's set this up. If I'm angle A and I have a hypotenuse, okay, do I have its opposite? Well, certainly. Okay, it's 21. So if I have the opposite and the hypotenuse, I'm going to use my sine ratio. Okay, so sine theta over 1. Now this one's going to work out a little bit different here. We don't have an angle measure. Opposite over hypotenuse. What's going to happen is there's not much to really cross multiply here. Alright, so if you're missing an angle, this is how you want to do this. And it's pretty simple in the calculator. You don't need to put 1 underneath here. Okay, this is pretty simple. On the calculator, you'll hit the second, it's a yellow button, and then hit sine, that button, and then you'll see this, sine -1. Okay, punch this fraction in here. So I'm going to do that on my calculator to find my angle A, because that's what angle I'm trying to find right now. I need to label that angle A. Second sine, 21 divided by 35, it should work. Okay, I get 36.87. So angle A is 36.87 degrees. Now, I got angle A. Now I can find angle B by doing this. Then find the third angle by taking 180 minus 90. Now, why am I saying minus 90 here? Well, what kind of triangle are we dealing with? A right triangle. So I'm going to subtract that angle. And then the angle you find, we just found another angle in that triangle. Well, what was its measure? 36.87. Okay. What I'm going to do is plug 36.87 here and go ahead and subtract. So we can do that real quick and should finish up the lesson here. 180 minus 90 minus 36.87. That gives me 53.13 degrees. Okay, and then that will be our third angle, 53.13. So I can label that over here. Angle B is 53.13 degrees. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow.